My long-term goals are to shut down Holloway Prison by 2015. I was inspired to start Kazuri Properties as when I was released from Holloway in 2007, there was no provision to help me get reintegrated back into society, to find decent housing, to really start to rebuild what was a shattered life. And the idea started really out of anger and frustration at the statutory bodies, including probation, including all the charities that have paid massive amounts of money to help ex-offenders to reintegrate and resettle, because they just weren't doing it. And I thought, if I, who is quite a resourceful woman, who knows a lot of people, couldn't find my feet, what would other women who were a lot more vulnerable and fragile than I was, what was their journey going to be like? So that's really what started the whole company, which started with Kazuri Properties, which is the women specific housing provision. We look at homelessness not as a choice or as something that happens to somebody, but actually homelessness is a result of long-term and sometimes lifelong multiple exclusions. I'm very proud of some of our service users who have really changed their lives around, who've gone on to do amazing things in the community, who have just become participating members of society and no longer see themselves as criminals or outsiders, but have a sense of being a stakeholder and a citizen. Ex-offenders, along with existing statutory bodies, families, academics, service users, people that have gone through the system, have a massive part to play in the delivery of services. We're a tiny company and we can't really afford to waste resources. We're in the very lucky position of being able to choose ethical partners who we want to work with, who share the same vision and mission. The biggest obstacle of my career has to be being a small brown woman in a big white society. It's very difficult, some of the negative media attention, some of the stuff. I used to be a very high profile journalist, and I think my whole life was overlaid with what people expected of me and how I should be and how I should live. And now I'm doing something I really love, and people's judgments and reflections don't matter in the same way. The best thing about my current role is busting stereotypes and expectations, breaking down institutionalized resistance. Another proud achievement has to also be being shortlisted. Kazuri Properties was shortlisted in the Best Specialist Provider category in the UK Housing Awards, which are held annually by the Chartered Institute of Housing. It felt amazing to be recognised for the work that we're doing, with community leading the way, not with this sort of top-heavy government-centric focus, but I think with localism and new laws that are being enacted at the moment, there's a real chance for us to embrace community spirit in a way that's been lost and fragmented, and really learn that in society we have to embrace the whole, and there are people that have an awful lot and there are people that have absolutely nothing, and it's about kind of closing that circle. I think watching people flourish and bloom as they find their own place in life, and that can be whatever it is one of the most rewarding things that can happen